So if you have any question related to your practice, then we are quite happy to help you if possible. I'm trying. And you can share with us about your experience. So any place that you feel you are stuck or you need some kind of a guidance or you have any kind of doubt about the path, maybe what you are doing and something like that, that's also you can ask. Or any other Dhamma related question that also you can ask. I can try my best to answer. It's a kind of an open session, and again, if you like to contribute, that also I can welcome. It's not that I am telling everything and you simply ask or listen. You also can contribute in case if you find that's a better answer or there's a better information. So that's also possible to contribute. Anybody who is going to start the session? Yeah.
I was just wondering about the five aggregates. How and when, what was the cause for the Blessed One to explain the aggregates to a group of people, and who were those people?
Sorry, the last part?
Five aggregates.
Yeah. So the thing is, so different teachings are there. Now, depending on how we get stuck, how we are mostly trapped in a way. So most of us are trapped not merely on the body, but mentally. In the sense that we have certain amount of grasping to the body, thinking that it is me, myself, considering body as a self, body as a person. But more than that, we grasp thinking, okay, my thoughts are myself, my imaginations are myself, and my perceptions are myself, and whatever I am feeling is myself. And again, through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind, how I am interacting with the world, then how this consciousness happens. And that is myself. Basically, the experience, we take it as a person. So that is where the aggregates really answer. You know that there are among the five aggregates, only one is taken as the materiality. Only one is taken as the physical aspect. All other four belong to the mental aspects. Feelings aggregate, perceptions aggregate, mental formations aggregate, and the consciousness aggregate. All those four are mental. So we can't see any of them, but still we perceive. We can feel the feelings, we can recognize various perceptions, various signs that we are picking as we are interacting, and thoughts continuously going on, and we have different kinds of thoughts, various emotions, and continuously we are interacting with the outside world using our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind. So this is the, say, broader area we typically can get trapped. So therefore, five aggregates particularly targeting that group of people who are more into the mental grasping. Their identification is more into the mental side. But there may be another group who are more into the physical side. They give more prominence to the body. Okay, this body is myself. I am the best person. I am the really beautiful person. I am the strongest person. So the body becomes their main identification, not much into the mental side. For them, the elements are giving a good answer. Okay, this body is merely four elements. So the earth element, the solidity part, then the water element, the liquidity part, then the air element, the movements and all that vibrations part, and the heat element. So the temperature, the cold, heat, all that. So that is basically targeting the elements, giving more prominence to the physical aspect. And in general, there's another one, what we call the ayatana, the sense bases. Say eye with the vision, then ear with the sounds, nose with the odors, then tongue with the taste, body with the tangibles, and mind with the mind objects. So there's another comprehensive way of analyzing this whole experience. So aggregates is one way of explaining the whole experience. Elements are another way of explaining the experience, and the sense bases are the other way of explaining the experience. The problem is we somehow get stuck somewhere. We grasp somewhere, hold strongly somewhere. We being identifying with somewhere. So that is where that Buddha is giving a explanation. Okay, look at like this. It is not a person, it is not a self. Okay, you do a kind of an investigation. Look at the body and is it really a person? Is it really a self? You look at various feelings. Is it really a self? Is it worthy of telling as a self? Say, whenever the feelings are arising and passing away, very quickly, very rapidly, instantaneously, is it possible, is it worth to tell it is a self? So likewise, it's inviting us to investigate rather than blindly thinking there's a person here, there's an individual here, a self here. So Buddha very much giving us a broad area. In this area, you better investigate. This area, then you can better investigate. Say, for example, when you do Kayanupassana, the establishment of mindfulness to the body, and then it is giving you a thorough understanding about what is the body. Say, it is continuing with various postures, and then you are recognizing different postures. So it is not my body, or I am sitting, I am walking, I am standing, something like that. The body is sitting, body is standing, body is walking. So we are putting things into a different perspective. And say you are recognizing the body as various body parts in Kayanupassana. Various body parts are there. So you look at, okay, head hair, body hair, teeth, tongue, and all many different, now you know the traditional 32 parts, right? So rather than identifying this body as one unit, one thing, a self, so now you look at from a different angle, okay, it consists of various body parts. So what happened is, so it is easy to blindly identify when we consider things as one unit. Now say for example, okay, I showed this smartphone. So when I am telling that, okay, someone might like it, don't like it, and someone want to steal it or buy a new one. So many different things are possible. So I am giving a name, a label, a typical conventional value. So it's recognized as something, very important thing. But what is inside? Inside the smartphone, what are they? Many little components are there, isn't it? Electronic components are there. A huge battery is there. Nowadays, several cameras are there. So if you build the whole thing, can you say it is the smartphone? We can't say like that. So when things are assembled in a particular style, then we give it a name for easy communication. We give it a name called a smartphone. Same thing here. So we give a name, okay, I am a man, I am a woman, blah, blah, blah. So like that. But Buddha telling us, okay, divide it into various body parts and see. Then you can see, okay, it is not really a person, it's not really a man, a woman, but it consists of various body parts. So likewise in the Kayanupassana section, many different methods are there for us to recognize thoroughly about the Rupakkhanda, the form aggregate. So more you thoroughly recognize or understand deeply about the form aggregate, then outcome is you can't grasp it. That's the interesting thing. So you can't grasp because you know, okay, I mean, it is not a smartphone. It consists of so many little components. Which part am I going to say is the smartphone? So likewise, so many different Kayanupassana section methods addressing these different delusions we are carrying. And more we practice, then slowly, our delusion is abandoned, our ignorance is abandoned. Then we can say, okay, no more grasping to the body as a person, as a self, as an individual. Rather, it depends on the food and it depends on so many other environmental causes, conditions. It is something constantly arising and passing away. So we look at from a different, very deeper, wise way we are looking at the body. Then no way to grasp. Same thing applies for Vedana. Say you are practicing Vedana. Different feelings are there. Typically what happens is whenever pleasurable feelings happen, we quickly go and grasp and say, okay, I want it. It's my pleasure. I'm really happy, and you immediately kind of driven by the pleasure. I want it, and you even get frightened when I'm going to lose this pleasure, happiness. On the other hand, if you are experiencing the painful type of feelings, then you have the opposite. Can I get rid of it? I hate it. Why this pain is torturing me? So we identify, we grasp even the pain. So likewise, typical reaction in ourselves is to grasp the pleasure and trying to get rid of the pain. So that is the compulsive, impulsive behavior we are having. But when we are looking at Vedana, we keep feelings as feelings. Okay, they are merely feelings. Painful feelings are painful feeling. Pleasurable feeling is a pleasurable feeling. Equanimous feeling is an equanimous feeling. So you are looking at them in the proper perspective. Then slowly, you are not going to immediately jump and grasp the pleasurable feeling, because you know it is also just a pleasurable feeling. I can't depend on it. It is conditioned. It depends on the contact. So depending on the type of contact, you get the corresponding type of pleasure. Depending on the type of contact, you get the corresponding type of pain. You know that passa paccaya vedana, right? The contact causes feeling. So likewise, more deeply we do this sort of an investigation, the grasping reduces to the feelings. So likewise, when we are practicing 4 foundations of mindfulness, 4 satipatthana, so the grasping towards all 5 aggregates has to be slowly reduced. So therefore, there's a real philosophical meaning and practical meaning to this 4 foundations of mindfulness practice, and particularly targeting our grasping. So ultimately, the result is no grasping, non-grasping. Anissitoja viherati. That nachakinchi loke upadhyate. So you are able to live a life without grasping any of these aggregates, not grasping anything in the world. That's the outcome.
This is sort of a follow-up. So let us say that with practice, we can reduce the grasping. And then at some point of time, would one say, okay, now myself is not grasping at those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But one could still say that there is this self sitting somewhere which is not now grasping all these worldly things. So I guess intellectually one can definitely say that. So how would one get to a stage of a breakthrough where you can actually start to think that there is actually no self? It's not just that the grasping is gone, but that the self is also gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting. So let me quote an interesting sutta where Venerable Ananda, the Venerable Ananda is the attendant to the Buddha, and he remembers about his kind of early practice when he entered the sasana as a monk, and how another elder has instructed him. He's called Punnamantami Tutta. So Venerable Ananda, an elder, he instructs the other monks, when I ordain as a novice monk, as a new monk, So Venerable Punna Mantani Buddha gave me a really interesting instruction. Upadayatiko also ananda asmiti hoti no anupadaya. So the point is, only when there is grasping available, then only the self-view going to happen. So you can't have a self without grasping. So grasping is a prerequisite for having a kind of a self-view. And then he is further elaborating. So what's going to be upadaya? What's going to be grasping? Grasping the form aggregate, grasping the feelings aggregate, grasping the perceptions aggregate, grasping the formations aggregate, grasping the consciousness aggregate. So these are the five aggregates. By grasping any of these aggregates, only possible I to be happen, a self to happen, a sense of self to happen. So if you are not grasping form aggregate, if you are not grasping feelings aggregate, no perceptions, not the formations, not the consciousness, assume that you are theoretically not grasping any of these aggregates, then you can't have the sense of I. Interesting thing is we can't immediately come, we can say like that, but practically we can't immediately come to that sort of a completely purely non mind. Even though we may not grasp in the body, probably mind may be grasping the feelings, maybe grasping the perceptions, maybe the thoughts, maybe as we are interacting with the outside world, we may be grasping the experience. I am the one seeing, I am the one talking, I am the one hearing. So that is where we are grasping at the experiential level. So likewise, even though I am not identifying with the body, there is a possibility to grasp at another very, very subtle level. That is where the thing is becoming more difficult in a way. So it's obvious that this body doesn't carry a self. Okay, when we are dividing it to various pieces, little components, then probably anyone can understand, okay, any of these components doesn't have a self. But still I have a perception of a self. I have a feeling of self. Because experience somewhere I am still grasping as a self. That's why it takes really a fair amount of time for us to continue with our practice. Then only one can say, okay, now seems like no grasping. Yeah.
So from a practical point of view,
Yeah.
It would make sense to not worry too much about the existence or non-existence of the self, as long as one can work on getting rid of more and more aspects of grasping.
Exactly.
So that seems to me to be one practical technique that one can use and not worry too much about the self directly.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other practical techniques that you would recommend?
Yeah, on the other hand, say one interesting thing is as that's a good strategy. Basically, we are continuing our practice. So the interesting thing with the knowledge what we are gathering through the practice, say it is not the mere book knowledge. That's interesting point that we need to differentiate. So we can read many books, we can listen to various Dhamma sermons, we can do a lot of studies, and we can gather a lot of knowledge. And you can have various degrees, and a lot of knowledge is possible. Either it may be Buddhist knowledge or any other subject knowledge. Now, typically, if you have some sort of a more and more knowledge, what do you think? Is it leading to non-grasping, or you might even go for grasping?
Grasping.
It can go for grasping. Now, say you are a scientist. Say you have your own inventions, or you have your many other things and your patents, as our Don is here. So likewise, so we do that to admire ourselves, to represent ourselves. So all these our findings, all these our knowledge can cause to build a self, isn't it? So this is also a type of knowledge, by the way. But interesting thing with the Vipassana knowledge, on the other hand, is that knowledge, if we are having, it relinquishes instead of grasping. It's a completely different type of knowledge we are talking. So the wisdom that we are talking in the Buddhist practice is entirely different from the mundane type of knowledge. The mundane type of knowledge leading us to operate as an individual, a very important person with a lot of ego, maybe, a lot of grasping. On the other hand, when we are into the Buddhist practice, that practice leads us to abandon things, relinquish things, non-grasping. So therefore, the Vipassana practice, in that sense, operate in a completely different way. And you may feel, okay, now I am quite a calm person. I don't want to jump to a situation. Okay, assume that there's a meeting going on. And previously, say several years ago, you want to highlight yourself. Everybody want to accept my idea. Everybody want to obey my view. Because you are strongly having that kind of egoistic representation. But assume now you are continuing your practice. And slowly you come to a reacting. We can say it's now responding, not reacting. Say others are also allowed to talk. They can put their views, and you are also putting your one. You can evenly recognize or give some proper admiration to different ideas. So you are more diplomatic. More diplomatically, you can see many different ideas. No conflicts now. You don't really want to highlight your view. If there's a better view, you are ready to accept. So what indicates that? Isn't it? Now that indicates kind of a maturity is happening within you. Now you are not really grasping your idea. Instead, you are adjusting yourself and you are more wise. So these are the kind of changes, kind of behavioral changes even happening within us. And as we are practicing, because now the Dhamma, the understanding, the wisdom, operating in a different way, you don't want to really highlight as a self. Because you know, okay, there is no such self to protect. Rather, it's as if you come to a little deeper level, say it's a kind of dependent origination is working. Different conditions are there. When they comes together, another, say, result is possible. So likewise, you have some deeper understanding. So that helps you to slowly abandon things. And the interesting thing is your mind has to be very lighter now. Fairly spacious, not cluttered, not burdened, not stressed out. Rather, you feel quite very calm, very relaxed, a kind of empty type of a mind, and thoughts are there, but you can recognize them. You don't carried away often by the thoughts. So likewise, these are the kind of indications that the Dhamma is operating, our understanding is operating. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let Anka over.
Yeah. Now this, until the self-view is completely eradicated by becoming a Sotapatti, the supramundane level, this happens automatically because mind works so fast that you have the ability to vipassana, to sort of divide it into parts and see it, but the mind is so fast that the self-view automatically comes into play until you get Sotapan. Thank you.
Now, very interesting topic we are going through. So actually the self-view, we have to levels. At the Sotapanna level, the stream inner level, it is only one level of self-view is abandoned, what we call as the personality view. Considering any of these aggregates have a self. But still, you have the sense of I. That's a very interesting sutta. Again, if you like, you can refer called Khemaka Sutta. So, Venerable Khemaka is one of the elder monk, and he's now spending his last years, and certain other venerables want to verify whether he has really attained Arahanthood. And now he sent a messenger. they send a messenger to Venerable Khemaka and they ask various questions. That person asks various questions. Are you taking body as a person, as an individual, as a self? No, I am not taking. Are you taking feelings as a self? No, I am not taking feelings as a self. I am not taking perceptions as a self. I am not taking formations as a self. I am not taking consciousness as a self. But I am not an arahant. So the opposite is what they want, right? So if you are not taking body, feelings, perceptions, formations, consciousness as a self, if you are not taking them as a self, then you should be an arahant. But he says, no, I am not an arahant. It's very interesting. So even though he is according to the sutta, he is a non-returner actually. Still the self-view, very subtle level, what we call the asmimana, conceit I am. Conceit I am is possible even though the personality view is not there. That's why the sense of I has a little broader spectrum. So at the streaminess level, the very gross level is abandoned, we can say. But subtle level is still remaining. But we call the asmimana, the conceit I am, a very kind of a residue of the sense of I. So that is still remaining. You still have the sense of I. So only that is abandoned when one becomes an arahant, fully enlightened person. So therefore, we can't expect a stream winner not to have a sense of I, nor Sakadagami, the once returner, nor a non-returner, Anagami, because even they can have the sense of I as per this particular sutta. The sense of I completely not available in an arahant.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only changing subjects. So I have a question if there is a sutta that deals with abusive family members.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's okay to create space for
Mm-hmm.
those family members.
Mm-hmm.
It's question.
I can't immediately come up with a certain sutta. But I can give a general answer, by the way.
Please, yeah.
In case while I'm talking, if the sutta example come to my mind, I'll tell you. So, when we are living as a group, maybe as a family, maybe we are working together in a, say, office or any other thing. So there can be many different types of people, many different temperaments are there. One may be quickly getting angry, one may be finding faults every time with another person, and one may be criticizing the people. And on the other hand, there may be another person who is quite compassionate. He or she want to help the other person. So likewise, many different characters are there, even in the family, even in our office, even in our working place. So this is the way. We need to admit that we can't expect everybody to love me, everybody to help me, everybody to appreciate me, what I am doing. We can't expect that sort of a idealistic type of environment. Instead, we have to be more realistic. So certain people really like me, they may really help me, appreciate me. On the other hand, another one may criticize me, they want to find fault with me. This is the way. So the answer is not correcting the outside, but correcting outside. So the Buddhist answer is only on one side. We have to say, we can't correct the world. Try to correct yourself. So while others are attacking you, can you remain calm? While others are really boosting you, still can you remain calm? That's a challenge, isn't it? Because we have to consider both sides. One may be really, putting yourself on the pedestal and saying, okay, you are the best person and you are the guy, you are the best. That is one extreme. Other extreme is another person is telling, okay, you are completely useless, you are an idiot, so you are useless at that time. Okay, both sides are there. So how am I able to manage myself? So that is the way that we have to look at the issue. So everywhere, different types of people are there. Either in the family, either in the office, any place, different people are there. So how I can manage myself with any of these people? So that is where we have to look at our mind in a way through the practice, how the mind is coming up with sort of an urge, sort of an impulsive behavior, certain reactions coming in the mind. So that is where we have to be careful. So am I quickly jumping to react and attack the other person? Or am I able to cover it up and still burning inside? Not reacting, but internally burning still. Still possible. Or else, am I able to have less burning, even though he's abusing me, still little burning, by the way. Not really getting to the really strong type of a burning, but a little bit of burning. Or no burning at all. So the practice is taking us to many different levels. Yeah. Now, if we simply take mindfulness practice, for example, assume that now we are continuing with the mindfulness practice. So as we continue our mindfulness practice, so one level is that you are able to recognize the emotion. Okay. So even though we start with the body, it may broaden to the emotions part as well. So whenever certain emotions are happening within ourselves, we may be able to quickly check it. We may be able to quickly recognize it. But if the emotion is too strong, I can't stop it. I go for the action. Say someone is talking, someone is blaming me. I found anger is arising, a type of emotion. My body gets tensed and heartbeat increase, and I really get the angry thoughts. I recognize it, but it's so powerful, I couldn't stop. I also react. But interesting thing is, knowingly I did it. With mindfully I did it, by the way. The power of the emotions really overwhelmed me. I couldn't stop, but a certain amount of knowledge is there, awareness is there. Assume now you further continue your practice. Anyway, you are continuing your practice. You may reach another level. Okay, same person, another person is abusing, talking, blaming, everything is happening. Anger is arising. You start burning, you recognize the emotion, but you can control the reaction. You can stop blaming, you can stop arguing, you can stop whatever the physical reaction, but burning is there. Much better, isn't it? So we didn't go to argument, we didn't go for any kind of an attack, no ground situation now, but still inner burning is there. That's another level. Assume now further you continue in the practice. Practice is ongoing. Practice is ongoing. Another level is there. As you grow in the practice, you may be able to recognize this emotion at its early stage. It may not overwhelm you as before. Now you are in a better position. He may be abusing, he may be blaming, but you can recognize an emotion is now growing. You are fully aware. Very much it is stopped. Very much it is arrested at a very, the lower level. So you are less burning at that level. So that's another level of our practice. There may be another level that you may be quickly, immediately you are able to recognize the reaction coming in, or the first thoughts, different feelings coming in before it reaches to the emotion level. So that's a kind of an advanced level where you are quite capable, your mind is fairly mindful, you are equipped with a lot of wisdom now. Mindfulness alone actually can't do it. You are equipped with a lot of other spiritual qualities. You can quickly recognize whenever the mind changes, and the other person may be reacting, other person may be, say, blaming, but you are calm, you are relaxed, still. So likewise, the practice is the solution in a way to give a simple answer. So we have to trust the practice. So our own practice will give an answer. Irrespective of either family or office or school or wherever, different people are there. When they are doing many different things, so we, based on our practical experience, practice, our maturity, we may be able to handle it. Yeah. So many other examples are there now. If we take the Buddha's examples, say for example, say there are instances that certain people are coming really to attack the Buddha. Right? Certain, I can remember Akkosa Bharadwaja Sutta, as far as I can remember, that person is coming and blaming Buddha like a help. And then Buddha was silent and he was listening to the whole thing. And then he put a simile to that person. Are you done? Okay. You finished your blaming? Yes. Then he is asked, Buddha is giving a question to him. Suppose there are some people telling that they are coming to your house. Okay, some invitees are there, going to come to your house. So what are you going to do? Okay, we prepare delicious food for them. But if they didn't come, what are you going to do? Then what to do? Then we can't throw it. I myself and my wife will consume the food, what is prepared. Because they didn't come, there is no one to receive that. So I myself have to consume it. So same thing here. Everything you gave me, I am not going to receive. Then you have to consume. So likewise, Buddha is playing a really advanced, very mature level. So he's giving a kind of message even. Not only he's bearing the whole thing, but he's giving a kind of message even. So likewise, many occasions are there how Buddha cleverly handled the difficult people. Yeah.
Bhante, would you say today in the morning,
Maybe the battery.
Okay. Today in the morning, we learned as part of Samajiva that you should not associate with bad friends.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if that is something which is relevant to this, because if you are associating with people who are abusive, they are causing you to lose your calm and serenity.
Mm-hmm.
So it is all right to create a little distance, because actually it is said that you should not associate with them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for pointing that out. So yes, we have to maintain kind of a safety to ourselves, because there's significant influence coming from the other people. So because still I am not yet confident myself that there is a possibility that another person make a significant influence on me. So I better take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing. But there may be another level. Now you are confident. Assume now you are confident. Okay, anybody abuse, but I am not going to lose my temper. Then you can be a Kalyana Mitra to the others. So therefore, it depends on where we are. So if at the beginning, of course, we have to be very careful whom we are going to associate, and because I am not yet a powerful, a strong, spiritually strong person. I am yet a beginner. So I can't handle everything right now. So I am covering myself. I don't want to associate bad people. But there may be another situation that you are now fairly mature, you did fair amount of your practice, and you feel capable now. And you need to check yourself, am I really capable, or am I overestimating myself? That's also possible, no? Because you might overestimate you. Okay, I think now I am not getting angry at all. Is it really true? How are you going to test? Then you better put yourself into a difficult situation and see Okay, when others are telling this and that, are you still really not getting angry, or are you getting angry? Because it's quite easy for us to not to get angry when everybody is happy and everybody is appreciating, everybody is coordinating. There's no reason for me to get angry. But you get angry only when the others are not really coordinating, others are criticizing, finding fault, all these things are there, then only we get angry. So by putting ourselves into a difficult situation, in one sense, helping us to understand where we are in our practice. It's also an interesting way we can look at from the Vipassana point of view. So how really we can test ourselves. So in that sense, these difficult people helping me to understand my skill, my spiritual capacity, my maturity, all these things they are also helping me to understand where am I. Am I really capable of handling it? Or have I overestimated my skill? Yeah. Yes.
I'm curious about the mundane Eightfold Path and the super mundane Eightfold Path.
Right.
I think during the right action talk, it was said that mundane right action can strengthen the view of self. So I'm curious, should you practice the mundane Eightfold Path the entire way through and then start over and do the super mundane the entire way through? Or should you try to do them at the same time? And then I'm also curious, what is the difference between mundane and super mundane?
Right. Thanks for the interesting question. So actually these things, so Sila Samadhi Panya in a way, the morality, the concentration and the wisdom. So we can't say that we have to wait till we complete the whole moral part, then only we can get into the practice of the concentration part, tranquility part, and we have to fulfill the tranquility part, then only we can go to the wisdom part. If you are saying like that, that is not really practical, we have to say. So we can start at many different levels. Say we can listen to Dhamma, we can read few books, and we can try to understand things, and that also adding certain amount of knowledge, right view can be taken from to that level. And then you are practicing mindfulness and all that, so that may contribute towards the concentration. And when, say possible, probably when certain amount of concentration is there, mindfulness is there, you can look at the body as various body parts. You can try to understand various thoughts, help you to understand or develop certain amount of wisdom. So in one sense, we are practically improving the morality part, again trying to develop the concentration, the mindfulness part. Time to time, we are trying to develop the wisdom part as well. So therefore, it's helping each other. These three components, these three trainings are helping each other. Say, the training of the morality contributes to the development of the wisdom. When development of wisdom happens, it contributes to further purify my moral conduct. It further refine my concentration. So likewise, these three are helping each other, and therefore we can target all three areas rather than we have the perception of I have to first complete morality to the 100%, then only I have to go to the other section. It is not the case. Practically, we can start at many different areas. So, to answer your question that Samma Hammanta, right action. So, first of all, we have to abandon the Miccha Hammanta, the wrong action. So killing, we have to stop. Stealing, we have to stop. Sexual misconduct, we have to stop. So that is one thing. And then the opposite, we are now further developing. Like instead of killing, now I am trying to help. I am being compassionate. So now the positive qualities are further, improved in myself. Instead of stealing, now I am protecting someone's, whatever the resources, their wealth, and I even help another person, a needy person, by giving something. So instead of stealing, now I am practicing generosity even, isn't it? So these are the positive qualities now I am developing. And instead of sexual misconduct, now I am even time to time I am even living a celibate life. So likewise, these are this different way that now stopping is one level, but contributing positively is another way of positive practice we can implement. So as we continue, then definitely we have to get into the supramundane type of samaham, right action. Then only that Buddha particularly mentioned, you have to be careful now. Previously, we probably, even by good actions, you have made a self. Say you did something really good, and you came home and you informed your wife, your husband, you put an advertisement. So I am the one who did it. But not necessary to do that. And you may understand, okay, there is no such person to be, boosted. So it's a stupid thing to boost no person. If really there is no person, and then who will be boosted? So likewise, so as we continue the practice, you come to a level, okay, it's ignorantly I was boosting a self, ignorantly. Very beautifully mentioned in certain suttas, like, as far as I can remember, in the Dhatu Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. So Buddha very beautifully mentioned, okay, once you come to a certain level of your practice, you take the decision. When I was ignorant, I was boosting a self. I was thinking there is a self, so I want to protect that self, I want to boost that self, I want to make that person a very important person. You are conceited, I am proud. All these things are there when I am ignorant. But now you have a different understanding, okay, there is no self, no point of boosting a self. Then I am further strengthening the defilements, further strengthening the latent tendencies, the taints. So let me behave in a way so that I am not strengthening the taints, not strengthening the latent defilements, not strengthening the ignorance. So you are now very careful, quite attentive, really mindful, even careful how the thoughts are trying to affirm about the self. Say, for example, you did something good. Okay, assume that you are traveling and someone was knocked by a vehicle and he was fallen in the on the way, and you stopped him and you helped him and you put him to the ambulance and everything you contributed. Everything really good, very nice. And now assume now you came back home. Now thoughts are coming into your mind. I am the one did it. Have they taken a picture of me? Are they going to give me a reward? Thoughts are coming in the mind. Okay, you recognize that. Say, I don't need it. No need to proliferate like that. No need to self-promote like that. Because you are very, very careful now about the practice. Fairly aligned with the supramundane path now. Not to promote a self, not to make a self. There is a beautiful terms in Dhamma called ahankara, mamankara, mananusaya. Ahankara is called I making. Mamankara is called mind making. Ahankara, mamankara, asmimana. Conceit I am. So these are very subtle ways of making a self. Many different ways we can make a self, create a self, promote a self. But now you are really wise, really mindful, very careful. I'm not going to entertain that anymore. Something like that. Difficult, by the way. Don't think this is immediately possible and I'm doing it really, really well. No. We sometimes get caught in the old habit. So we have to be more realistic and we have to be careful. And not to promote that ignorantly as before, not to promote a self. Yeah. Yeah.
I have another unrelated question. It seems like in like Western psychology, it seems important to talk with another person and go back into your past and explore like traumatic childhood events. But in Buddhism, it seems like a very solitary practice where you can kind of maybe ignore these events by focusing on the body and being mindful of the present moment. Could you maybe kind of explain the difference? Like, is it important to go back and explore like childhood formative events?
Now, actually, we can't simply say that we are trying to ignore and suppress the past events and simply delete them. But there is an area in Buddhist practice. Naturally, those memories can even surface up to your mind. So that's one part of our practice. It is not that purposely, by the way, I am taking it, remembering it, or go stage by stage to the past and try to catch them. Rather, when mind becomes more clear, more calm, more mindful, then the mind is fairly capable at that level. Automatically, that past traumatic experience can surface up. Then you can recognize them, you can abandon them, and you are in a better position actually. And there may be instances like many hours, even thoughts keep on coming about that past event, and you have to be careful on such event. So kind of a catharsis happening at that moment. You know that past event is there, it was latent, but the mind is fairly open now, fairly mindful, very calm, fairly quiet. You went through a very good practice, but immediately that start coming up, popping up. So at that moment, you shouldn't react. And again, you shouldn't suppress. You should allow that to come out as much as possible. When there is a wound in the leg or wherever, if it is oozing, so we have to, as we are able to abandon or remove all the, what's that called, ooze, right? Pus, then only get healed. Similarly, in Vipassana practice also, there may be instances that past memories may surface up, they may come to your mind, let it come, so you simply slowly abandon it. You simply relinquish it, then only you feel more released, more healed. So even therefore Buddhist practice, it is available. So, but interesting thing is, in the Western psychology, they have given extreme prominence to that. That's what I feel. Say they consider that past childhood traumatic experience is the most important thing, and your whole behavior is totally dependent on that. So we haven't given, in the Buddhist practice, we haven't given such prominence to that. There may be various other causes and conditions helping or influencing your current behavior. It not only your past child experience, maybe your teachers, maybe your culture, maybe who you are associating, and all the cultural upbringing, or many reasons are there for your current behavior. So therefore, it's a kind of a little broader way the Buddhist practice is going on. So not merely targeting that past traumatic experience. And interesting books are also there now. I think one American psychotherapist, Mark Epstein, have you heard? Mark Epstein, he's a Buddhist. We can say he's a psychotherapist, but he certainly uses certain Buddhist teachings. And he has published several interesting books like Psychotherapy Without a Self. That's a book by him, Mark Epstein, Psychotherapy Without a Self. And then Thoughts Without a Thinker. So these kind of very, very interesting books he has published, really touching certain deep sides, deep teachings of the Buddha. Okay, we have 4 more minutes. Okay, since there is no more questions, so we can wind up the session then. So thank you very much for very interesting questions, and I hope you have benefited from the discussion. And thank you very much for your